Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to be celebrating the significant birthdays of two of our working tractors. The two of our working tractors that are celebrating their significant birthdays this year, 2022, are the 1972 Bolens Husky 1054, the famous red Bolens, and the 1962 Bolens Ride-a-matic, which the Rydematic will be 60 years old this year, and the 1054 will be celebrating its 50th. Our 1972 Bolens 1054 is a workhorse tractor. It's been our firewood tractor for multiple years now, and it's done very well at that. And Bolens here in the UK, a lot of the old ones have been repainted because the paint doesn't usually survive the British climate, and that has happened multiple times to this tractor. You can see it's got mostly red paint, the hood in most places, but then you can see here you got some white paint from a previous time where it's been repainted, and on the fend here it looks like there's a kind of dark green colour as well. So quite a big mismatch of colours on here. We got the 1054 back in 2016, and when we got it, it was actually a running tractor. So we've done a decent amount of work to it since, mainly maintenance stuff. But we also did a carburetor rebuild and did some electrical upgrades as well. Now, this is one of three 1054s that we have. However, this is the only 1972 one we have. The other two we have were made in 1971, and there's a couple of differences between them. One of the differences is that the choke and throttle cables here, the levers for them on this one go up and down, whereas on the 1971 ones, they are pull out and push in ones. And also on this model, because it's a later one, it has the plastic fuel tank rather than a metal one. In the past, we've used a number of attachments on this tractor, which we actually used to snowplow in the Beast from the East when we had all that snow a few years ago now. So that was fun, but it's mainly used for towing trailers, including our firewood trailer. Now, looking to the future, it'd be nice to refurbish or restore this tractor, but there's quite a few tractors waiting in the queue for that job, and it does a very good job and is very reliable in the very tough job that it does, and it definitely gets a bit of a hard life. But if you're not familiar with these tractors, I'll just quickly run through the controls on one of these tube frames. So down here you've got, it's 6-speed, you've got your 3 gears, 3 forward gears plus reverse, and then you have all of them in low or high range, so 6 forward, 2 reverse gears. And then you have the PTO lever here as well, which you go like that to turn it on, that to turn it off. Doesn't exactly do much on this tractor since the PTO is actually missing, so we haven't ever used any power-driven attachments on this tractor before. Now, this is the clutch and brake pedal down here, and then there's actually a brake lock thing here where you pull it up, slide it across, and then the brake stays on, and then you can disengage it like that. Then I showed you the choke and throttle up on the dash here. Then you have an ammeter, and then your ignition switch. There would be the light switch if the person that bought this tractor had gone from that for that optional extra. Then on this side we have the attachment lift, Now to show you the final control, I'm going to hop off the tractor here. And it might be a bit difficult to see because we have these Rydematic wheel weights fitted to it at the moment. But in there is your diff lock. The 1054 performs very well for a 50-year-old tractor and still runs quite well. However, something that arguably runs even better for being 10 years older than the 1054 is our 60-year-old Bolens Ride-a-matic. We bought the Rydematic back in 2014, and it was actually non-running when we got it, which I'll get onto that in a minute. However, the paintwork on this, the tractor has definitely been repainted in the past. There's no way this much gold would be lasting after 60 years. However, this repaint job does need redoing, because you can see there's bits like this where the rust is coming through. And it would just be nice to strip it down at some point again and fully repaint it, because these do look very nice when they're fully restored and repainted. Which we've taken this to a number of tractor shows. This is the only tractor that we've actually taken to every show that we've exhibited at. And we've had a lot of fun with it. We've used it in the working areas at shows when we've been ploughing with our plough. And we've actually used Andrew's set of Rydematic discs at Rural Pastimes 1 year as well. And this tractor also got 2 third-place rosettes at Rural Pastimes, so that was good. If you're a Bolens person or you know these tractors, then you may have noticed the elephant in the room, or should I say the elephant in the engine bay, which is the 5 horsepower Honda GX140 that's been swapped into this tractor. Now we have the original engine, however it has been, which is a 7 horsepower Kohler, but that got swapped out because it has a cracked flywheel. That was swapped by a previous owner, and the state that we got this tractor in was the engine was installed but not fully set up so it would actually run, which is why this was a non-runner when we got it. To get it to run, we put this bracket here, which meant that when you push down the clutch pedal, the belt actually comes away from the pulley and disengages drive, whereas before you couldn't actually stop on it, therefore wasn't drivable. Now we've done a number of jobs to this tractor as well during the time that we've had it. Now we put this brace on here, which is to support the front grille, which normally you wouldn't really need this because the grille would mount directly to the engine. However, because it isn't the Kohler engine that's in there, you can't do that mounting. We also installed a new exhaust on here because the original Honda one came out of here and then pointed straight up at the fuel tank, which was not very good when we were ploughing at Rural Pastimes a couple of years back, and all we could hear was sizzling fuel. Luckily, nothing bad happened with that though. We also installed this governor here, and we've done a lot of maintenance work and a couple of other jobs besides. We've done a couple of customizations to this tractor, first of which is the front hitch that you can see mounted down on the front of the chassis down there, and the main purpose of that was so that Dad could tow me around the show ring at tractor shows while I was on this, so that I can go around the show ring and be within the rules of the show and still be able to go around the show ring. And second, one that's a very noticeable one is the tri-ribs on the front tyres, because we did this upgrade to help improve our ploughing, because we like doing ploughing with this at tractor shows, obviously before COVID turned up. Now I'll run you through the controls of the Rydematic. Now on this side we have the attachment lift lever, which is pretty much the same on any Bolens, or pretty similar to any Bolens, unless you have a hydraulic lift, which was not an option for this tractor. Now onto the controls up here on the dash. You have this lever, which is a choke. However, that doesn't actually do anything because there's a switch down on the engine for that on the Honda. However, if you had the original Kohler engine in, you would use this for the choke. Obviously, ignition switch there. And then you've got, here is the throttle. And then you have your gear lever down here, which you have high range and low range over there, with two neutrals. You can see it's in one here and one over there. That's mainly for the convenience of being closer to the two gear ranges. And then there's a reverse in the middle. So you've got two gear ranges there. And then the way you actually speed up those gear ranges is on the Rydematic here. Currently I have this in brake mode, and to put brakes on, you can use the clutch pedal there. Then if you put this in neutral, then you can push the tractor. And then after neutral, there are 6 notches on the Rydematic, which are different speed controls. And you can actually change the speed control as you're driving along. There's no need to stop, which is very helpful for things like ploughing. If the tractor's struggling a bit, you just take it back a notch. Or if you want to go a bit quicker, you move it forward a notch. I'll just move this back into the brake position. Then there's this lever here, which is the PTO engagement lever. This is in the off position at the moment. If you move that down there, then it's on the on position, and that actually has quite a big spring on it, and has quite a lot of tension as you're lowering it. So when we go to tractor shows, we usually like to leave that down, just to make sure that anybody that's around that's having a look at the controls doesn't accidentally push it down and then it goes flying down and there's no injuries or anything. Having now gone over the controls of the Rydematic and given you a bit of the history of both of them, I think it's time for a bit of a celebratory joyride. So let's go. back in the workshop now, and it was good to get a drive on both of the tractors. And I think the only thing left to do is say happy 50th birthday to the 1054 and happy 60th to the Rydematic. So all together now, happy birthday to... Okay, that's enough of that. But that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.